smart and brave. Well, it doesn't really matter, we all end up in the grave. All my favorite people are dead. All my favorite people are dead. I say it, all my favorite people are dead. All my favorite people are dead. All my favorite people are dead. All my favorite people are dead.
Well, hello there, breathers,
And welcome back.
to another
Funny
entertaining
episode of All My Favorite People Are Dead. I'm Sue Teresi.
I'm Shannon Butler.
Hi, Shannon Butler.
Sue Teresi.
How are you today?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I'm tired. I just flew in from Vegas, and boy, are my arms tired. Bada boom. Yeah. And wah, wah. I was in Vegas for the first and probably the last time.
It's a scary place. I commend you. I don't think I could ever go to Vegas.
It's called Sin City for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And when you put a little middle-aged Jewish school teacher in the middle of Sin City, it's just what you think. It is opulent and really over the top.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, I'm the type that when I see these burlesque, not call girl, showgirls.
Well, they might be both.
I don't know, but they're walking around in the desert with nothing more than like a pasties, a G-string, and a smile.
Whew.
And they walk around, and look, I don't judge, but all I kept thinking, again, my frame of reference is, oh, thank God, my daughter's a good girl. My daughter never did that to me.
No.
And I say a prayer for her mother.
I mean, I could just imagine you going around just praying for everybody.
In my head, I'm like, oh, her poor mother. Her poor mother.
Well, wait. How do you know that her mother didn't do that before her?
I don't. But then I would have, if I knew that, I would pray for her mother as well and her grandmother. Because I'm the type of person that does stuff like that. You know, when I see the homeless people, I say a prayer.
Uh-huh.
And the worst part is sometimes I see homeless people and they have dogs.
Oh,
and
I
then
hate
I'm
that.
like, oh my God, I'm gonna vomit.
I hate that so much.
So that's so why would a overly sensitive Sunday school teacher go to Sin City?
Why?
I hear you asking.
Why, Sue?
I was supposed to go to Israel.
Right.
Originally a month ago, and a little war kind of broke out, so
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
Yep.
So I figured, rather than spending, I just had a big birthday, and I wanted the original plan was to spend it in the Holy City and at the Wall.
Right.
But when that fell through, the next best thing is to go to Vegas and see Alice Cooper and Chris Angel. Same vibe.
Yeah, same. I mean, what
Same vibe.
little Jewish girl from New York doesn't want that?
Exactly. So when we found out that Alice Cooper was playing with Chris Angel in a Welcome to My Nightmare, I said, well, that's like a one-off, and we'll go to the Sphere,
Yeah.
and we'll go to the Grand Canyon.
Okay.
And I will do things that I am okay with in Sin City.
Yep. Taking in little bits and pieces.
Once I got to the Chris Angel Theater, and it was an Alice fan, which is a bunch of aging rockers. I go, oh, my people. Then I felt comfortable, and I felt comfortable at the Grand Canyon.
Where
again,
there's it's a big hole in the ground, and you're like, I could throw people in that.
They have the upper part. We went out on what's called, I think it's called the Skywalk or the
Yeah.
Skyview, and it's a big horseshoe shape that's a mile up. So not only are you looking out at the canyon, you're looking down beneath you. They give you booties to cover your shoes because you're walking on glass.
Whew.
So you're looking out and down, and then you go down to the bottom part. And there was no ropes. It basically says, do not go 5 feet to the edge, or you fall over and we say goodbye. Yeah, you don't have to ask me twice because,
No.
I'm not exactly Evel Knievel. But, people get close for pictures, and I'm like, you fucking idiots.
Yeah. No.
I'm not. No, I'll stay here and I'll take a picture of the background.
Yeah.
Not doing it. So, but it was breathtaking. So I found beauty and culture, and I did a little history of Nevada while I was there.
Yeah.
Because that's how history nerds
That's what we do.
run.
Yeah.
To distract myself from all the debauchery in modern day Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, it's
Little sensory overload. Now I cannot be around people or anybody for the next week.
well, I'm glad you accepted my
You don't count.
my knock on the door this morning.
You don't count.
Okay,
you,
good.
you and the cats are, and then that was it.
I'm on the same level with the cats.
Well, slightly below.
Okay, fair,
But-
fair.
Slightly below. My husband, my children are not on the same level as the cats. You are in the same level as them. Right
Okay.
below
Well, that's
cats
good.
are my family
Yeah.
and you and a few
Okay.
select people.
That's fair.
And everybody else is not even on the radar. But
Yeah.
but the next day I'm come home, I'm in my jammies with a cup of herbal tea under my cuddle puddle of kittens. I'm like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to wake up to the sound of slots and people moaning. I wake up to the sound of birds
Yeah.
in my yard. That's me. And I know
Yeah.
it sounds very Snow White-ish and ridiculous.
No,
but
I understand.
I know you get it
I
because
get
you
it.
get me, but
Yeah.
So unless and the sphere was like this awesome. It was like I never saw the Wizard of Oz. Like this is the first time I've seen the film. Right? It's like at a planetarium, and crap is falling out of the sky, and they're blowing debris during the hurricane, and the snow is falling in my head. Those were really great experiences. Those two shows.
That's cool.
So I could deal with all of the madness. And try and keep it in perspective while learning about the state of Nevada, praying for women's moms, and going to the Grand Canyon.
Well, you had a sensory overload, and I was just singing with my little Frankie.
What is he singing or are you?
He's a fabulous singer.
Is he?
He's so good. Yeah, I posted a video on TikTok of him singing.
Where did I miss that?
Well, because you were watching, The Wizard of Oz and Alice Cooper.
Okay.
While I was home, like singing with my dog. He has an excellent singing voice. He has a little vibrato, and yeah, he's very very talented. Yeah, so I posted a video on TikTok a
Does
couple
he
days
sing
ago.
like a cappella, or you have to play something?
Well, I start singing, and then he jumps in.
Just him? Not the others?
No, just him. And then he just, it's beauty. I mean, the singing voice on this dog is really
You ought to
something.
think about cutting like a CD.
I think that's a good idea. I think he could be on America's Got Talent,
Right?
Because he's very talented.
Yeah.
And I
you
think
can woof it up. You could call it "Woof It Up." I gotta hear this. I gotta go check it out.
Yeah, I'll send you the video.
Okay, this I need to hear.
That was
Only
my
him, like going, ow.
yeah. It was. I mean, and he's you have to. I can't recreate it quite like. Oh, the cat is taking the
I have to
microphone
put my
away.
nails. Just have to take.
No, I can't quite do it justice.
Okay, I will.
So yeah,
I will,
I'll send you the video. It's on TikTok.
I anticipate.
Yeah, but
not
that was-
Frankie's autograph.
That was my highlight. I think he would be a super diva. If he were to make it
That
big.
I can see. Yeah, that I can see.
Because he, be like, no autographs, and if he doesn't like you, he might bite you. That kind of thing.
He likes me and he's bitten me, so that's
Well, he does like you.
he loves me.
He does. So anyway, that was my highlight. But you clearly had a
Very. It was never on my list of things to do until I saw, like I said, that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I could go to the Sphere. Okay, let's do it. But as somebody who doesn't drink or gamble, going into that environment, it is what it is.
Kitty.
Yeah, it is what it
Kitty,
is.
you're in our. That's not a litter box, Kitty.
Yes, it is. Yes.
No, it's not.
Okay, she's in. So go in her box.
Okay, so
So who do you want to talk about today?
So this week I thought we would look at someone who is actually one of my favorite dead people from Hollywood, whose most famous role actually scared me as a kid, like scared me.
Oh,
Yeah. But as I got older and I saw him in his comedic roles,
okay.
I understood just how talented this guy actually was.
Okay.
So today we're going to talk about Gene Wilder.
I grew up watching him as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Him and, Mel Brooks and all
love
those
Mel Brooks.
classic. I was always a big, so what scared you, Willy Wonka?
Willy Wonka, actually.
It was a freaky role.
Yeah. I was a little afraid.
My husband, I think, because we saw it as children also.
Yeah.
I think my husband was traumatized when she turned into the big blueberry.
Yeah.
Things that are a little look, even in the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere, I wouldn't take small children to that. Simply because there's debris and every time the witch, Margaret Hamilton's character comes out, the chair vibrates.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, it's hilarious, but I wouldn't have brought little kids to that either. So some of these child-centered things can be very scary.
Yeah. I was a little. I was definitely off-put by the Willy Wonka character when I was a kid.
Did you see the one with Johnny Depp?
No, I did not.
It's that.
I don't know. I guess.
It sticks. Believe it or not, it sticks closer to the rule book.
Okay. All right.
With this,
I'll have to check that
it
out.
sticks closer to the book.
Okay. So yeah, we're going to talk about Gene Wilder. because I recently watched a documentary about him, and I was like, oh, wow, I forgot just how amazing this guy was. So Gene Wilder was born into a Russian Jewish family in Milwaukee, Wisconsin on June 11th, 1933.
Jerome somebody, something, something.
His real name is Jerome Silberman.
And wait, correct me if I'm wrong. He took the name Wilder because he said, nothing gets wilder than me or something.
Well, yes. So he decided he needed a more Hollywood star-like name
Than the Jew name?
And he said, although, hey, there's a lot of big Jews in Hollywood.
But they all changed their name.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks and Joan Rivers.
They got to change the name.
Rabinowitz only goes so far.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
So, but he said he wanted to be known as someone wilder.
That's it. Okay, see, I read that somewhere.
Gene's grandfather had been the president of their local synagogue. He was a very spiritual man. And friends of Gene said that he was a spiritual man for the most part, but he said of his own faith, he said, I have no other religion. I feel very Jewish. I feel very grateful to be Jewish, but I don't believe in God or anything to do with the Jewish religion. So that was what his personal.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of quote unquote Christians who have a hard time with the Bible. Who have a hard time with some of the things that Jesus said. Like sometimes when I'm trying to be like a true Episcopalian and I'm like sitting there in church and I'm thinking of some of the readings of Jesus and I'm like, what the fuck was this guy talking about?
But you're supposed to do that. See, Jews, we spend our lives discussing and almost arguing over, why did God say that? Could that have been an and or an or? Well, what did he mean by that?
Yeah.
Well, what exactly? We have commentary on that because it is open for debate and discussion.
Yeah.
You're supposed to.
Yeah, I think it's a good, healthy thing.
That's a help. Yeah.
So anyway, I guess that was his. He came across as a very spiritual person. His father had been born in Russia and came to America. Gene said that his father was a salesman, and the family life was overall quite happy. When Gene was 8 years old, his mother, Jeanne, had her first heart attack.
Oh.
And he explained that her doctor came to the house for a checkup after her first heart attack in the hospital. The doctor actually said that Gene should never argue or disagree with his mother. He pulled little 8-year-old Gene aside and said, never give your mother a hard time.
Wow.
In fact,
why didn't I tell that to my kids?
Yeah, right. He said, always try to make her laugh or else you might kill her.
Oh my God, a doctor says that to a child?
To a child.
You don't want to kill your mother?
You don't want to kill your mom. Right?
Oh my God.
So that somewhat explains why he could be so explosive as an actor. Because he's keeping a lot of that stuff inside of him so that he doesn't kill his mom, right?
But is that why he went into comedy?
I think he was a natural
comic.
Yeah, he really was. Yeah. As a young boy, he was fascinated in the theater. His older sister had been involved in community theater, and he wanted to do the same thing as she did. His mother actually sent him to a school in Hollywood called Black Fox, but he was bullied there and treated very badly, so he came back to Milwaukee. And in high school is where he actually first got on stage. And then later on, he studied at the University of Iowa. So he began studying theater pretty young. He moved to Queens with his sister, where he continued to study theater until he was drafted into the military in 1956. I had no idea he was in the military.
Yeah, me neither.
He actually ended up working in a military mental hospital, a psychiatric hospital, where he kind of studied the patients a little bit and their behaviors. But he was very much inspired by another hero of mine, Charlie Chaplin. He said that he had gone to a Charlie Chaplin film festival in New York City, and he recalled watching Chaplin's film The Circus, where he said, this is something that stood out for me, he said, that if you are doing, if what you are doing is already funny, you don't have to be funny while doing it, which is a very Charlie Chaplin thing. Just be natural. Yeah. And the humor comes across. Yeah. So when you look at Gene Wilder's performances, you realize just how natural everything is coming across. Yeah, sure. And it made him I think, brilliant. In 1963, he was performing in a production of Mother Courage and Her Children with Anne Bancroft. Yeah. And he claimed that he was miscast in the play. And he wasn't having a good time. But he got to meet Bancroft's boyfriend at the time, Mel Brooks. Yeah. There he is. In 1967, Brooks was working on writing a piece which he entitled Springtime for Hitler.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah. Which we know would eventually, the name would change to The Producers. Right. Brooks read like 30 pages of the script to Wilder at a party.
Springtime for Hitler and Germany.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So since filming wasn't going to, he actually he actually asked, as Brooks is reading the script to Wilder, he says, "Would you play Leo Bloom? I need you to play Leo Bloom. You'd be perfect for this character."
That's all right.
So he agreed. Now,
Just like that.
He's like, okay. Wilder was asked, in the meantime, before filming began, he was asked to do his first on-screen performance in a small role in a movie called Bonnie and Clyde. That was the very first time he was
Faye Dunaway?
with Warren Beatty
and Faye Dunaway.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that you mention it,
Yep.
I do remember. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he's playing the role of this guy who's like making out with his girlfriend on the porch, and they steal his car, and then they get in the car with the Barrow gang in there.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "What do you do for a living?" He's like, "I'm an undertaker," and they're like, "Get him out of here."
Yeah. Yeah, you don't picture him in a movie like that.
Right. That was his very first on-screen performance.
I just recently saw that. I think we watched it again.
Yeah, and you're like, "Look, that's Gene Wilder."
Yeah.
So anyway, that was his first chance to actually be in film while he was waiting for the producers to begin shooting. So from there, he traveled back to New York, where he began filming the producers, and he learned that he absolutely loved being with Mel Brooks, and Brooks loved working with him.
That's like a natural chemistry right there.
Brooks later said that he never needed to give Gene any direction.
No.
Because it just everything came naturally to him. Yeah. Wilder was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for the producers. But after this success, there seemed to be no real winners for him on any of the pieces he worked on, even Willy Wonka. Now, he was not the first choice for the role of Willy Wonka, but he was the best choice. And when the film was released in 1971, it was actually a box office failure. Wilder had heard that many mothers thought that the lessons in the movie were too cruel for children to understand. In later years, he said,
don't spoil your kid?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't let him watch too much. Back then, right, the kid was watching TV.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, with the video games, those lessons of it, don't let your kid be a glutton? Really? That's a bad lesson?
Well, that's what he said. He said years later, he came to understand that it was actually, it was the mothers who didn't understand, not the kids. He's like, kids understand this very well.
Kids get it.
Yeah. Critics loved the movie. Roger Ebert even raved about it, saying that there hadn't been anything like this movie since The Wizard of Oz. So that's what he referred to it as. But
you know what? They should put that at the Sphere.
Actually, that would be, imagine chocolate like
falling from the sky and oompa,
tasting.
Loompa. Yeah, that would. You know what? They need smells. They can type in chocolate.
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Yeah. What does the snozberry smell like? And they can have all of that. That's a movie. Okay, anybody listening, you should put the original Willy Wonka at the Sphere.
There you go. I'd still probably be too terrified to go see it.
Then I would go back to Vegas.
So anyway, even though it was a box office failure, the critics actually really liked it. And since then, of course, it's become quite famous. But as all of Wilder's films had been so far, they weren't really doing that well with the exception of the producers.
Stupid trivia. I know the kid that played Peter Ostrom, the kid that played Charlie Bucket, left Hollywood. He is now a dairy veterinarian.
Yes, I know.
He left, I guess it was too much.
Yeah.
And the Johnny Depp version, which is, Johnny Depp to me looked and sounded like Michael Jackson throughout the film. But that did stick much closer to the book, because I read the book with students, with the Daddy, I want to train squirrels. It was just stupid trivia.
Yeah.
I digress.
Okay.
Back to Gene.
So, while the film was in theaters and not doing very well, he actually got a call from Woody Allen, who wanted him to play a role in his film, Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex.
I don't remember.
Oh, so he plays a man in love with a sheep named Daisy.
Oh, no.
Yes, it's perfection.
Oh, no.
I
don't even know if I remember seeing that.
It is so fucking good. Again, he's so natural and so funny.
It's a bestiality.
Oh, well, it's almost like he falls in love, and it's like he's having an affair with a sheep.
Yeah, okay.
And it is perfection.
Okay.
And the film was a major hit because it was low budget and made a ton of money in the box office, so it was a win-win.
If I saw it in.
Oh my God, so good.
I would remember that.
Just look up, Gene Wilder.
See,
everything.
The thing is, I unfortunately I boycotted Woody Allen.
No,
again,
I know.
Back to the thing. So
the artist,
the artist stuff. Yeah.
But I mean it's a really good film anyway. It's a great film. But even if you don't like it, Woody Allen. But Wilder's performance with the sheep, I mean, just
make Google that scene.
Just look that. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Maybe I'll just do that.
So that was a major win for him. So it was at this point that Wilder decided to begin writing something. It had been suggested to him by his agent, Mike Medavoy, that he should try writing and even directing. Okay, so Wilder began writing the first couple pages of a piece he called Young Frankenstein. I guess I didn't know that he wrote that. I thought that was Mel Brooks. His agent also suggested, he's like, hey, why don't you get Peter Boyle and Marty Feldman involved in this project with you, since they were also his agents. So they decided to work together, and Wilder said, I need Mel Brooks to direct this. He's got to direct it. So Brooks said the idea was cute when Wilder started reading him from the script, and Brooks was like, that's cute. And that was it. That's all he said.
That's it.
That's cute. But he eventually changed his mind, of course, and Brooks was the one who decided.
Have you seen Young Frankenstein?
Oh, yeah. I love it.
We've seen it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And, you know, what's funnier is if I watch it right after watching the original Frankenstein, you will realize, like, they took things verbatim.
Oh, yeah.
Like, literally the same damn scene, but only they made it funny as hell.
Well, actually, that was another thing that he said while filming it. There was no improvisation on set for Young Frankenstein. None. They followed the script exactly. The only areas where they actually improv was the physical responses.
Yeah. But it's like verbatim.
Yeah.
I mean, I never realized it. Until I watched the two of them, like, you know, we did a Halloween thing, and you'd laugh your butt off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I love it. It's just brilliance.
It really is.
So Wilder, once Brooks decided he would agree to direct it, and he said it's going to be black and white. It has to be in black and white.
Sure.
Wilder got to work finishing the script.
Sure.
But Brooks was in the middle of working on a film at the time entitled Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
And he had a hard time filling the role of the Waco Kid because he had a couple different guys who were playing the Waco Kid, and one of them was a drunk, and the other one wasn't. It wasn't working out.
Oh.
So he called Wilder, like literally from a payphone, and said, "I need you to come here. I need you to fly over here. I need you to do this role for me." So it's kind of like a win-win.
Wow.
So he accidentally gets the role of the Waco Kid, and he
was hysterical in that.
Brilliant in that too. So Wilder said that there was, like I said, when they began filming Young Frankenstein, there was no improvisation. Everything worked beautifully. It was all naturally done. He said that making the movie was, quote, the happiest he had ever been on a film set.
I can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall.
Absolutely. He said each day was like breathing a little bit of heaven. That's so sweet. He enjoyed working with Marty Feldman and Madeline Kahn so much they decided to write and direct a film that he could work with them again in, which is actually 1975's The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes' Smarter Brother.
Okay.
Which is another piece that he did. And that was his first gig as a director. Young Frankenstein was a commercial success and almost won an Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay, but that went to The Godfather Part 2, which is bullshit, in my humble opinion.
Well, how do you compete with The Godfather?
So I like The Godfather Part 1.
Yeah.
Godfather Part 2, no interest at all. So no, Young Frankenstein over that any day.
All right.
That's my humble opinion.
I get it.
Take it or leave it.
But it's a hard, it's a hard contest.
So in the 1970s and 80s, he worked alongside Richard Pryor in several films.
Yep.
Silver Streak, Stir Crazy, See No Evil, Hear No Evil. The two had perfect timing, perfect chemistry.
They really
on
did.
film together. But Wilder lamented the fact that they were not close outside of filming. They had totally different lives. I mean, Pryor had all kinds of drug problems.
Yeah.
So he was kind of sad that friendship didn't really.
They couldn't gel.
He met Gilda Radner on August 13th, 1981. And he said when he began working with her, he was never bored, but sometimes exhausted because she was a lot. She was, a lot of woman. He said she was the most extraordinary person he had ever met. In 1982, Wilder worked on a film called Hanky Panky with her. Mm-hmm. He said he could not believe how deeply in love with her he had fallen.
I remember watching Gilda.
Yeah.
At, Saturday night when she would come out as Roseanne. And it's always something. If it's not one thing, it's another. And Emily Latella.
Yeah. Yeah.
She would come out with these characters, and she didn't have to say anything.
Yeah, she was just a presence.
Just by her mannerism, the way you start busting out.
Yeah.
She was amazing.
He said, we didn't get along very well, but we loved each other very much. And I get that. Yeah. I get it a lot.
But also, two people of that kind of caliber
Yeah.
personality.
That's a lot.
It's because I couldn't probably be involved with a loud person like me. I need somebody like normal, like the guy that I married, whatever his name was. That he's my anchor. He's kind of normal and stable. And then you got me, a loose cannon.
Are you telling me I need to find someone normal?
Yeah,
How is that going to
because
work?
you're like me. But we can't marry people like us.
No.
We need to marry people who are not like us. People who I like, think they're an authority on my life. And they go, you and your husband are just so opposite. I go, we are?
Yeah.
Why are we opposite? Because I'm just a loud version of him. They don't see that. They just see the loud version.
Yeah.
I always find that very funny. I don't really, I think people like me frighten me.
I know I frighten people.
Yeah, I do too. Two close women friends, right? Who don't know each other, who I've been with a while, who have both said to me the same thing. I was afraid of you when I first met you.
Yeah.
Thinking, me? The little, they didn't see the little Sunday school teacher. They just see this loud, loose cannon.
Yeah.
Which I am.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's funny. So I think two people like that, that's like a hurricane meeting a volcano.
Well,
I don't know how they got along at all.
I know. They made it work.
They made it work.
They did.
Yeah.
They ended up getting married on September 18th, 1984. They filmed quite a few movies together. Sadly, Gilda, she wanted to get pregnant in the worst way. She had a miscarriage in 1986, and that was followed with a diagnosis of ovarian cancer.
Yeah.
And he said that he felt like an idiot because he thought she was going to get through it. He's like, oh, she'll like this. She's strong. She's gonna make it.
Well, how do you know? You don't know. You prepare for the worst, and hope for the best, and you assume you'll be a survivor.
Yeah, and she was misdiagnosed several times, so I think they caught it late. They caught it late. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she died in 1989 in their home in Stamford, Connecticut. She was only 43. I mean, that's.
Oh, she was that young.
She was young.
I can't remember.
So young.
Okay.
He said, quote, "Hope is a thing that keeps us going, allows us to laugh even in the worst of times." And ain't that the truth, buddy? So not long after the loss of his wife, he got together with a woman named Karen Webb, who he actually had worked on. She worked for the Hard of Hearing, right? And he worked with her in trying to write the script for See No Evil, Hear No Evil, the film that he did with Richard Pryor, where he played a deaf guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that. That was hysterical.
Yeah. So he had worked with this lady because he really he wanted to understand deaf and blind people. So he worked with Karen Webb on that. And then they reconnected and they fell in love. And they got married on September 8th, 1991.
Hope she was funny too. She must have been. She
had some sense of humor.
You can't. Yeah, you can't.
They got married in their backyard in the Connecticut home that Gilda had left Jean when she passed away. And after that, he basically retired. With the exception of a few appearances on the TV shows. He was on Will and Grace for a couple of really good episodes. Yeah. He wrote a couple books, including his memoir, Kiss Me Like a Stranger. And he really enjoyed watercolors. He painted watercolors. They were quite good. I saw some in this documentary that I watched about him. He was a pretty talented guy. Sadly, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in 2013. His wife had noticed that he couldn't remember the name of his film, Young Frankenstein.
There you go.
She's like, that's a big sign. She knew something was very wrong. He died on August 29th, 2016 at the age of 63 at his home in Stamford.
He was young too.
I'm sorry, he was 83. Did I say 60? He was 83. Yeah.
Okay.
83. Yeah.
83.
83. Okay. Sorry, did I say 63?
You said 63.
Sorry, 83.
To me, 63 is young.
That is young. You're right.
Well, now I'm starting to think 83 is young.
So, anyway, having lived a fabulous life, and he gave us some of the most memorable performances.
I grew up, he really made my child, him and Mel Brooks, Marty, the whole lot of them.
Yeah.
Madeline Kahn, the whole bunch of them.
They were
just
great.
Keeps you laughing.
Oh, absolutely.
Just poking fun of stuff. Making you look, laughing at things that need to be laughed at, like prejudice. Mm-hmm. When you watch Blazing Saddles.
Oh, yeah.
And just stuff like that. And I can't remember. Oh, no, it was Blazing Saddles. Cleavon Little, right?
Yep.
See the Sheriff?
Yep.
Sheriff. And, there's one scene where they're dressed, I think, as like Klan members. Oh, they see Klan members. And they don't realize he's black. And where the white women at? Just, all of that fun, making fun of prejudice and stupidity, and it's just a riot.
Yeah.
You know, Mel always throws in Yiddishisms.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's a scene where there's a black family, they're like crossing the prairie and they get attacked by Native Americans. And of course he's Mel Brooks is the lead Native American. Schweizers, you know, black people, gay, let them go. It just, you know, it's just so stupid that it's funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is. I go in for that stuff. I don't know if you could get away with that now.
That's kind of a shame.
Because they use the N-word a lot.
They do.
But again, it's done to show how awful it is.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you could do that stuff now.
Yeah, that's true.
But that was just some real funny stuff.
Yeah.
What a treat.
Right? Something different, you know?
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Nice funny. No murder.
No murder. No.
We'll get back to that.
Absolutely.
In case breathers are worried that
we'll get back to the nasty stuff.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about someone who I think really made a positive impact.
Made everybody laugh. Yeah.
And you really need to go see the scene with him and Daisy and the sheep.
I'm just going to look that one up because I don't think I can handle the film. I'll look that up. I will get back to you on that.
Okay.
I'm sure, just thinking about it. It's a real sheep?
It's a real sheep.
They give him a real sheep?
And he's just like falling in love. Like this guy, he's a vet, and the guy brings the sheep to the office, and he's just like, you could see him falling madly in love with the sheep, and the next
Not like you fall in love with Frankie and I fall in love with the cat.
No, it's
a thing. I gotta brace myself for that.
It's fabulous.
Because I know me and, you know, like when I was gone, I came home, one of the cats still hasn't let me out of his sight. You know, he's sleeping on my head and he, you know, follows me in the bathroom and I'm looking at him and I don't think it's like that.
No. Now Frankie and I have a very different connection.
A strong bond.
Yeah.
You know, you get a strong bond with your fur baby.
And I realize that I really do love these dogs more than pretty much anybody.
I feed them before I feed my husband.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I thought that was normal. I don't know. They're my fur babies. They're above my human family.
Yeah.
And everything else is below that. They are, you know.
Gene Wilder, at the end of his life, he had these little terriers.
Okay.
That
no sheep.
No sheep. No, okay. He had these cute little terriers.
That's a bad idea. Yeah. That was
but he clearly did, you know,
love his pups.
Yeah, love his pups. He said that one of his terriers was at his wedding. You know, he's like, we had 7 people and a terrier. You know,
2 dogs, a couple of cats, and maybe some people.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah, that's like us. I know, animal people.
Yeah.
We rock.
Well, breathers.
That was another hysterical,
enjoyable
episode of All My Favorite People Are Dead.
Bye, breathers.
Ooh.
Ooh.